Okay, we are going live. We are live.
What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In this show, we're talking round 3 DFS Showdown targets for the 2021 Waste Management Phoenix Open. Craig, let's flip over to that leaderboard so I can get something off my chest. You said we had to go to leaderboard first, so let's get there. Man, I first off, I got to mute YouTube. While I do that, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. It really does mean a lot. Craig, Daniel Berger, he's on 14th tee. He just needs to get into the clubhouse at +1. Then I get my 6 of 6 through, my big GBP. I have Xander in it, of course. He bogeys 14. He pars 15. He bogeys 16. He has a bad par on 17 and then can't get it done on 18. That was one of the worst missed cuts I've ever been through with Berger. Oh, man, it makes me
So what did it do? Just a single GPP or?
Well, my big one, like the $15 GBP, that's the one where I had.
Oh yeah, okay.
Um,
So like your big single entry one.
he was my one and done. He was in the pick show. I got all 3 of my sleepers through from our sleepers show. I got I was gonna get all of my picks through. Oh, Craig is just he's a top 15 player in the world. You have to be able to come in at even par +1.
You just gotta trust the process. You gotta just like let these things slough off of you. And
15 is a birdie hole, 17 is a birdie hole.
so was that your worst miscut? So like if you look at your 5 of 6s, I mean I know it was your biggest single entry one, but who made you miss the most 5 of 6s? Was it Berger?
It was actually your boy Martin Laird.
Yeah, man. So I was gonna say him, and then the other one who killed me was Doc Redman.
Yeah.
And that was the one at -2 as well. Which as the cut moved to -2, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us in the chat. Steven, what's going on? Craig, oddly enough, of the 6 of 6s I do have through, I only have 10% Webb Simpson in all my lineups, and I have 10% 6 of 6 with Webb Simpson through. So I'm becoming a big Webb fan this weekend.
Yeah, Bubba actually was the one who was key to my 6 of 6s, and he was one of the ones who like moved the cut line. So I was like, do I want him to go to 3? Do I want him to stay at 2? Like, I don't know what to do here.
I'm glad he made the weekend. I like.
Yeah, it's always better with Bubba around. Yeah, so leaderboard, I mean, no surprise, Xander's worked his way to the top of it. Yeah, I think the other thing that was hard today with showdowns is that like Xander, when you have, I don't know what Xander's ownership was because I didn't play him, but when you have such high owned guys doing so well, you need to kill it on your across the board. But yeah, so Xander, I mean Stricker and Bradley, that's surprises me.
Yeah, so a couple things going on in the chat right now. I don't know if we get this up after, if the chat is there, but Steven talking about occasionally, hey, yeah, that that worked out. I said I wasn't going to get there, but that absolutely worked out. He's at 10 under.
Well, and I'd be curious to know what his ownership was, because essentially that was the reason that neither of us said we would get there, is because it's just simply a matter that his ownership was going to make it so that the value might not necessarily be there. But ownership's just part of it. So you still like if you look at Xander, his ownership would have been crazy, but then if you don't have him, it becomes very difficult to. I did cash without him, but it was a pretty darn good lineup, and it had Webb and it had Webb and Scotty. So yeah.
I also had Keegan, which definitely helped. Keegan went off.
So about the actual leaderboard and heading into the weekend, who do you think on? So this is top 20 here. Who do you think hangs around? Who do you think are the real contenders of the list?
Well, I was going to throw a question right back at you. If I gave you Xander or the field, what would you take?
I'd take the field, but that's just because
that's a statistician in you saying that.
Yeah.
That's a smart pick, but I think he's going to be
damn
hard to chase down.
I'd be curious to actually know what his odds are right now. But yeah,
They're
no,
high,
I
for
think
sure.
Scotty Scheffler is scary there. I think Billy Horschel is scary. I have a hard time thinking Stricker is going to hang around, but I had a hard time. I would not have guessed that he was going to follow up his -6 with a
Totally.
-5 today.
Yeah, I love
Sam
it.
Burns is right there. Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth is there.
Jordan Spieth is right there. I was shoveling the driveway this afternoon after the AM guys finished up. Keegan Bradley was on the interview with PGA Tour Radio.
Yeah.
He seems confident. He says he's changed up his putter stance, so it mimics how
He's
he was with the
more
belly
hunched
putter.
over, or
I don't know, but man, if he gets confident and confident on the greens, he is scary. But I'm also scared to roster him, period, because it is Keegan Bradley.
I also am shocked that JT got it to -7. I don't know if you
Yeah,
were watching early, but things were
yeah,
not going his way.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on and check out weather and
Yeah, Peck, thanks for saying that. 21 under. We have the stats up here, Craig. I think our picks went 3.5 under. The round two scoring average was -1.86. So we kind of double up on the field there, I think. 1.97 on the AM, 1.76 on the PM. So a little bit advantage to the AM. If you are playing tournament long, it looks like 6 of 6 is around 9%. So if you got some 6 of 6s through, congrats. Should mean you're in the green, especially if
yeah.
you have Xander too, I think. But it's looking good. And weather, anything of note? Like anything you're taking away with weather?
No, not at all. I mean, I think we've seen it's been pretty balanced both days, AM to PM. I think there is there's the temperature advantage in the PM in terms of like, I don't know if you were watching right from the start today, but it looked cold. You kind of just can feel that like desert coldness to it.
JT had that cheek on.
Yeah, but I think I forget who it was. You do see with the greens as they get marked up over the course of the day that I think there is, yes, they can pat down spike marks and everything, but even, sometimes, I don't know if these are pull-up, but sometimes you even just get a little bit of growth and furriness to greens over the course of the day. So
Yeah.
I'm not giving any advantage to either side
Yeah.
for weather or course conditions.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the stats and playing the guys I think are going to have the best day tomorrow.
Yeah. So should we jump into it?
Let's do it. All right, a guy I just can't seem to quit. I did, I kind of regret not pumping his tires pre-tournament, but we're here. It's Saturday.
Well, we did just on the long show,
On the live
not
show,
on the picks show. Yeah.
He's a little bit too risky for the pick show coming off those 3 missed cuts, but hey, he's playing Saturday, and I'm going back for Brooks on the weekend. So 9,000 on DraftKings, 68, 66, 8 under, 13 birdies. Really, really good with those 13 birdies. 3 bogeys, 1 double. Obviously, a couple of mistakes to clean up. His ranking through 2 rounds. 12th in strokes gained approach, plus 1.52 average through his first 2 rounds. And 13 strokes gained putting, plus 1.54. He kind of flip-flopped in his first 2 rounds here. So really strong putting round in round 1. And then round 2, he actually improved his strokes gained tee to green by plus 2.92. So everything across the board went up. Off the tee, approach, and around the green all improved in round 2. His putting came down. So if you can get the putting somewhere in the middle there, around +1 or even +0.5 with the same ball striking, I mean, I love it. I love that price point. I think he's a scary guy. A confident Brooks is a scary guy.
Yeah, I like Brooks. I like the price. The one concern I have is ownership. Like I'm much happier having Brooks already locked into my tournament long ones, where I think he's something like, I think he's 6.7% or like something crazy low for what his price was in the tournament longs. But I just think he's going to be very attractive to people as a second person into their lineups. So that's my only concern. I think in terms of his chances of going out there and having a good day, I like it.
The one way I got a little bit contrarian with my first build here is actually just start at Brooks, and I see some chat in the chat about Kyle saying Stars and Scrubs has been working well, and I think there is definitely that's a pretty strong point. It has worked out well in Showdown, but one way to be contrarian right off the bat is to go balance, and I love the high or low 8s, high 7s for Saturday.
I think it also depends on what stars you've had. Like if you've had Xander, basically I think Xander and JT, then your Stars and Scrubs would be doing pretty well.
For sure.
I think so. I'm going to launch into a star here,
Let's do it.
But Jon Rahm, he was your pick yesterday. I
Didn't
didn't
do too
actually
well.
play him anywhere because I went super heavy on Webb. And so Rahm comes in 10,400. He's still the most expensive. He went 68, 69, 8 birdies, 3 bogeys. If you were watching, he left so many strokes out there on the
Yeah,
course. He
absolutely.
has just been like essentially, I think, playing to what the floor,
Yeah,
scoring to what the
I
floor
completely
of his
agree.
play is.
Yeah.
You can see it with his off the tee and approach. He's put at least one in the water off the tee. I think maybe a
Yeah.
couple. So if you think about how much that brings down that approach, you combine that with the fact that he's losing putting. Those are numbers for the whole tournament. Those aren't round averages, but
I was just gonna ask you that. So that's not averages. That is the total
yeah, and,
cumulative.
and so to me, this is similar. Like, this is an ownership play. So, like, when I woke up
Totally.
today
Yeah.
and I saw Webb was at 11% in the
Yeah.
contest I was in, I was already, like, to me, that's already a win because
Yeah.
no matter what Webb
Totally.
does, I want him at 11%. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm anticipating that Jon Rahm, for what his potential to go out there and do tomorrow, is going to be under owned at that price. And so I think Xander is going to attract a ton of ownership. Now, that doesn't mean I
100%.
think that, I think chances are pretty good that Xander, beats Rahm. But I think that say it's a coin flip even, and
Yeah.
then you have Rahm at half the ownership or a third of the ownership or something, then I'll take that every day. So
We've been seeing on the weekend, especially on the weekend for Showdown, these guys like the studs that are doing well are usually in the 40 to 50% owned. And I wouldn't be I think Xander's going to reach the top end of that.
Well, and Xander looked so good. Like, his play looked so
Yeah.
good over the last couple of days too. So
Yeah.
everyone who watches it is like, man, I got one more guy, or one more lineup or whatever. I'm plugging Xander in for sure, and I'll build from there. So I just think
Yeah.
Rom's going to be low owned. I think his game is in good shape, even if his scoring hasn't reflected it. Whether it works out or not, I
Yeah.
don't know, but it's about trust in the process.
Yeah, hey, probably find a way to play him as well tomorrow. I think you're hitting all the right points. It's a leverage play. It's a game theory. I love it all.
Yeah.
So going to my next one, I think I made a mistake here. I didn't get it corrected in time. Russell Henley is my pick. He's actually 7,900. So cross out that 73. He's 7,900. One of those guys I love at that price range. There's a few around there. Homa's right there. I think someone we'll talk about in a little bit is right there. But I really like Russell Henley 7,900. He went 71, 67. He's 4 under, 8 birdies, 4 bogeys. His ranks through the first 2 rounds again. These are the averages. He's 34th strokes gained tee to green plus 0.114. 49 strokes gained putting minus 0.39. So area to improve there with his putting. His approach, as always with Russell Henley, is great. He's T3 in greens and regulation, 86.11%. And looking at our Grandstand Golf DFS model, he ranked 4th in the model coming in. That's not value. That's just pure model, who the model liked. Above him were Xander. Hey, he's playing pretty well. JT, playing pretty well. Will Zalatoris, first time on the course, and his second round playing pretty well. So I think there's something to the model here that's picking the right guys. I think Russell Henley is primed for a pretty good day on Saturday.
Yeah, and I mean, the commonality I think there for the most part is that all those guys are really good approach players.
Of course. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think you see it just watching this course, watching golf at this course. You see how much you make a small mistake on approach, and then you have a really hard chip, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
bogey comes into play, saving, trying to save par. How many times have you seen chips roll back to someone's feet at this
Yeah.
course, or
Yeah. Yeah.
they hit it and it
Off
just
the
doesn't
back of
make
the
it to the
green
landing
or
point, and they end up with a
yeah.
long putt. So to me, he is one of the best approach players in this field, in the PGA.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think there's big upside. Yeah.
Yeah.
My next one here, and after I plugged this in and came up with my rationale, I realized that I now have two of your picks from yesterday, but I still like the pick. Louis Oosthuizen, 8,200. He's gone 69, 67, so he was a good play today, 4 under. 9 birdies, 3 bogeys. To me, this is purely a case where the value that I have on Oosthuizen, I think, is greater than the perceived value. And so, I think his ownership should be higher than I think it will be. I don't know that. Like, his ownership might creep up a little bit higher, but his round today, he could have been lower. Like, Oosthuizen's one of these guys that he's such a good ball striker that, like, if you look at his approach, he's losing 1.32 on approach. He's not the kind of player that does that. His putter's been really good. So to me, yes, typically I look for guys who are striking it well and their putter hasn't been good. I think he has been striking it well. The one that I just absolutely copied and pasted from your rationale yesterday, he's never shot over 70 at TPC Scottsdale. That was 5 rounds. So that is now 6 rounds.
He was averaging 67.4. That was his scoring average at TPC Scottsdale. I think that's probably about 67.2. So even better
maybe
now.
67.3. I don't know if it would bring it down that much, but to me, it's just a pure, I think there's value there that is not going to attract as much ownership as I think it will.
Another guy I really like, Myron touched on him in the chat. Max Homa looks really, really good at 7,900 as well. It lines up, those stats kind of line up perfectly for a showdown play. I think he's 15% owned tournament long. I think if people are looking for showdown plays, I think he'll be even more popular.
And yeah, we'll get into another couple here, but Kyle, I am liking JT Poston too. I unfortunately, I was getting hate for my JT Poston play pre-tournament, so I think I had him at 20%, and I took him out of a couple and downgraded him to 10. But he's still my best prospect of a lineup right now has him in it, so I'm still holding out hope on him for the weekend.
Okay, let's go down low sevens. So my third play for Saturday, one thing I like to do when I'm setting up my showdown plays, Craig, is to look at those guys that jumped up the leaderboard, are going to be popular, who's around there that I think can beat them the next day. Yeah. So immediately go down, I see Keegan Bradley, I see Jordan Spieth at 7,100. Right above there, there's a couple names I like. There's Adam Hadwin, but Matt Jones, there's Kevin Streelman. Matt Jones is the one I settled on. 7,200. He was one of my sleepers coming in. He's gone 68, 69. He's 500, 9 birdies, 4 bogeys. His ranks through 2 rounds. Really, really, really similar to Henley's. 35th stroke gain tee to green, plus 0.11. 44th stroke gain putting. He's just over positive 0.15. And T13 greens in regulation, 80.56. I love that greens in regulation number. I think he can push it out there. I think he can get eagle opportunities. I think he can absolutely go out there and be Keegan Bradley, Jordan Spieth, and be a quarter of their ownership at 7,200. So Matt Jones, I think he potentially is a riskier play, but I think game theory and upside, I really like that play at 7,200.
Yeah, I don't know about a quarter of their ownership, but we'll see. Maybe you can let me know tomorrow whether I was wrong on a quarter of the ownership.
Yeah,
I like that approach as well in terms of how to find guys. And I actually was looking at Matt Jones as a pick today. So yeah, I'll be playing him tomorrow. I just like this guy that I am going to say next. He's a little bit more expensive, but I think so many people are going to go to Spieth and obviously Bradley because he's 11 under. So I'll pivot off them, and I think he's a good one to try. Siwoo Kim, I took 2 of you guys from yesterday, and then another guy that just has been your boy for a while now. He comes in 7,600. He went even par 71, and then 5 under 66 today. 8 birdies, 3 bogeys in the tournament. To me, it's just a value play. His ball striking has been really good over the last month we'll call it. His first round, he hit 11 greens. His next round, he hit 17 greens. You look at his numbers there. He's positive in everything. He was negative in almost everything after day one and turned all of it around. Actually, I think his putting might have been better on the first day and saved him a little bit, and then his putting actually came down a bit today. To me, it's just I think 7,600 is a great price for Siwoo Kim. I I don't think he'll attract a lot of ownership there. I mean, he definitely
No,
will
I think
get
you're right.
owned,
I think you're
but
right.
I don't think, if he was at 6 or 7 or 8 under, he would attract a lot more at 7,600, and I
100%.
think he's
Yeah.
value at 7,600.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know. His course history here is not
Hmm.
good. His form is great. I'll have to dig a little bit deeper. I kind of do like, I mean, I just like where his game's at. And at 7,600, it does seem too cheap, especially when we see guys that don't have the long-term kind of skills higher than him. So,
The other thing, like course history here, but I don't think this course is too dissimilar from what is it, Stadium Course, where we just saw him win. So uh,
Amex, yeah.
I agree that his actual history at this course isn't great, but I feel like if he's striking the ball like we have seen him in some rounds over the last month, then I think he's tons of value.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hey PY, how you doing?
Uh,
Who's
a couple of questions here. Thoughts on Kazire, my sleeper for Showdown? That's from Steven. Kazire is currently, I think, at 8 under, or he went 8 under today.
um
I'm just pulling it up. He's at 8 under. He went 6 under today. I do worry that his putting stats are pretty
I
high.
don't worry about that at
His
all
approach,
because I think he's a good showdown play. To me, he's a volatile play, and he can go
yeah,
crazy with his putter. So I think don't count on him as a safe play, but if you want someone who has upside, I think he's a good guy to look at.
has Spieth risen from the dead, or is it an aberration?
Um, are we? I don't think we've got Spieth of old yet. Did you see where he hit it on 17? Um, did you see that or
Yeah,
no?
I don't know if it's 17. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. By across the water by those
I
people
saw
in
I saw
the
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
tweet of like the dispersion of shots on 17, and there's just Spieth out there like 50 yards to the left. Uh,
Download our podcast. We'll get into a lot of Spieth. I think let's pump the brakes a little bit. I love to see it, but let's pump the brakes a little bit. We'll talk about it more in our podcast for sure. Thoughts on Tringali before we go to your? I like Tringali. I always find a way to play him. I've been talking about him for a couple of weeks. I like
yeah,
Tringali. I wish I played him
I wish
today.
I had him in the tournament. I don't know, like I don't want to let my FOMO totally take over. I mean, I like him as a showdown play. I just don't know if I'm going to plug him in or not. I'm trying to figure out if I should resist my FOMO wanting to play him because, he ended up doing that oftentimes, and then it's like the trap one they played well, and then you get them in the round that you're like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's why I didn't play them tournament long. But I think
yeah.
he's a fine play for showdown if you feel it. Who's winning Euro? Adam?
DJ still hasn't made a bogey. He's at 8 under with a few holes to play. I like seeing Andy Sullivan third there at 8 under as well. Um,
Did you
Hovland had a
see?
good
I mean,
day.
DJ hasn't made a bogey, but he's taken out marshals all over the course. Um,
Oh, that would hurt. Oh man, that would hurt.
yeah, we've worked on golf courses on grounds crews for years, and I never got hit, but our older brother got hit in the face once.
Off the
Um,
cart path, a
yeah,
skip,
yeah, it
right?
was a skip. I think Wiesberger is someone to be a little bit. He's threatening. Man, I don't know. It's hard to get away from DJ.
It is hard.
Sorry. I don't know if he attended the funeral or not. I think it would be the right thing to do. At least, maybe offer to cater the wake or something.
Yeah,
Um,
like I don't know. I'm going down some bad jokes. Pay off the guy's mortgage or something. I don't know. Help his family out.
yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? You guys are looking at? I know there's so like in terms of the top plays, I like JT too. Someone had mentioned him earlier. Not JT Poston, who I definitely like, but um, what was he +1 at one point? He made two bogeys early, and then to me, there's just
Yeah.
so much when JT gets hot. There's so much potential. I think Xander's going to win this tournament. I'm fading him. I'm not going to play him at all in Showdown just for ownership reasons. Um,
You know who is really frustrating to watch in the morning, who might have some good showdown equity is Corey Connors. every single shot, he looked like he had a 15 to 8 foot birdie putt.
I'm happy he squeaked out a few birdies there at the end
Oh my
because
God. Until that eagle on, I think it was 15. I think it was 15. He got the eagle. Until that eagle, I was worried about him playing
yeah.
the weekend.
Well, and
Like,
so I was worried about that too. But I also had a pretty decent showdown shaping up. It ended up getting kind of blown out of the water by it was the one that had Webb and Scotty Scheffler and Oosthuizen, and but then guys went out there in the afternoon and just blew it out of the water. Connors was I forget. No, I think Benny Ann ended up being the weak point, but Connors looked like he might be there for a while.
yeah. This is how I feel about my lineups right now. This is the beer I'm drinking right now. Derailed. Burger derailed. I got to drink a derailed in his honor. H3 Theory, I was looking at a little bit for Showdown. I don't know if you were. It looks like his ball striking is really good right now.
Yeah, I've been burned by him so much tournament long because his ball striking stats are so good, and then he ends up missing cuts. But he's one of these guys who I think they mentioned this on the broadcast, but it's exactly how I feel. Like there's been one round, it seems like each tournament that keeps him from the high finish, and like he'll be playing really, really well, and then he'll have a round where he just throws strokes away. I'd be curious to know what was the Burns play? Was he one off? No, he wasn't one off the lead.
I don't know if I saw his 18. He bogeyed. He was in the what do you call those fairway bunker with the
the church pews.
Church pews. Yeah, thank you. It looks like he got up to 38 yards on his second shot and three.
So if there's someone, just Kyle Davenport, if there's someone I'm cheering for to win this tournament, it's Nick Hardy. Like, man, it was just I love seeing, like, Corey Connors did it. I think he's the last one to do it, isn't he? I love seeing Monday qualifiers winning with their tour card.
I think 4 all time or something like that.
It would be awesome. I mean, if not that, just a top 10, so he gets the auto into the next tournament would be nice to see. He was one of the guys that when I took out JT Poston, I did sub him in, so I've got some equity on him tournament long. I don't actually know. I'll have to see which lineups those are to see if they have any decent chances at cashing.
I love the story. You got to cheer for the story.
Yeah.
Xander will get his again. Scotty will get his eventually.
Sorry, you were Stricker will get his? Is that what you were saying?
No, sorry, no. I don't think Stricker will get his. Scotty will get his eventually. Yeah. Scotty will get his.
Although that would be a good story because he doesn't have a win yet, does he?
No.
Yeah.
Not. Yeah, no.
I think he's bordering on best players to not have one. Him and Abe Ants are battling for that title right now, I think. Anyways, I've got
have to do more research
freshly made ramen. I just wanted to say that because I knew it would make you jealous.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, everybody. Please hit the thumbs up. We really do appreciate that. Subscribe. We know you guys already subscribed, so that does mean a lot. Final thoughts, Craig?
No, let's cheer for Nick Hardy. Maybe I'll plug him into some showdowns just so I have one more reason to cheer for him tomorrow. Maybe I'll wait till Sunday to do it. I don't know, but good luck tomorrow. Let's see you guys.
Get someone in this group to take down a big GBP. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I feel good.
Yeah. All right, take care, guys. See ya.
All right, see ya.